Punk had a profound impact on me. It made you feel like it was possible to do something. That's the cool thing about punk rock. It's like, it's so easy to trace the lineage, and all the bands are so so community based. Like that community element was, again, like really inspiring, especially for a kid from a small town. When I was like maybe 12 or something, my first love growing up was Queen. They were the first band I ever really loved, and I really wanted to be a musician. And you know, I was a little kid, 10-year-old kid who couldn't get his hands around a bass guitar, and it was really daunting to imagine trying to learn how to play like that. And then shortly after that, a couple of years after that, I got into Nirvana. They were my first exposure to punk rock, I suppose. And just the simplicity and the immediacy, they turned me on to other punk bands. And by the time I was in my early teens, I was a huge fan of the Sex Pistols. And just, you know, God bless Sid Vicious, but like he wasn't really the greatest bass player. But the songs were so good and so, you know, so vibrant, and I just had that epiphany of like, I pulled out the bass that was previously too small for my hands, and like I realized I could do it. And like, it's hard to, it can't be underestimated how liberating that feels to like realize that you know, you can play the music that you love. Like I said, Queen was just too far in the stratosphere, and this was just like that immediacy. And the fact that you just plug it in and do it, you don't need any, you know, with a bass guitar especially, you don't need any effects pedals, you don't need a fancy amplifier. For me personally, the reason why punk has endured and why it inspired me, because I was a disenfranchised kid in a small town who was bored and really had very little to do. And I think that is the reason why punk is still so important to people, because there will always be people like that, and it will always appeal to people like that. And it offers a catharsis, it offers a way out, it offers a community, you know. And that was a huge thing for me. Like, people who were in the punk rock community, like they were very much stuck together. And as I said before, like the bands would help promote one another. And like when the Cribs were first starting, that was a massive part of it. Like, you know, we played with other like-minded bands, we swapped gigs with other like-minded bands, and there was none of that competitive stuff. That's the reason why it will always endure, because it's more than music, it's an ideology. The most important bands, the most important movements aren't just about music, they're not just about fashion. That's why it keeps coming up. It's like, it might be different forms, the original punk rock, and then the new wave, and then grunge, then Riot Girl, you know, and then you know, in the modern day, you got like it became a slightly more palatable version, but the ethic is the thing that it all has in common. And so that's why it's, you know, that's why it's been such a indomitable art form.